All right, this is a follow-up video to the video I did a couple weeks ago on globalcomics.com, and the link to that video is in the description. Global Comics is a webcomic site that you can upload for free your comic. It has a really nice interactive feature, which I went over before. It's a panel-to-panel feature. It really enhances some of your storytelling, so it's a really great option if you want to add just a little bit something extra to your webcomic without having to have some special status on the site. And today, I want to go through some of the analytic tools because they're really good for figuring out what's working and where people are jumping on and when they're reading and when they're not. And as creators, a lot of times we just want to make our comic and get it out there. But it's good to know some of these tools are available to you and how you can use them. So once you've gone to your site and you've published a comic or two, you can go up here, click on your account down here in analytics, and it'll take you to this page here. And I want to point out a couple of the things that are really nice. There's only two or three things that you really need to know that kind of carry through all these different categories. The first is, once you come to the dashboard, what you'll see is this. So it's set by default to the last 30 days. You can go back for the last year. I think even to a week, right? So you have a range that you can choose. Here's the overall for the last 30 days, what's going on. Unique readers, total visits, page reads, panel reads. So this is kind of where you can get a snapshot, all the way down to how many people have interacted and commented and favorited, and if you have revenue coming in, donations, you can kind of get a snapshot of where you're at. Now, as we go through and want to look at some of the more detailed things, you get into these graphs, and every one of these categories here is going to have a graph. And the nice thing about it is you can click on each of these colors up here in the legend up here, and it'll either add or take away. So right now, everything is here. Let's say we wanted to compare visits with unique readers, right? You can see as we X those out, you can start seeing a little more comparison of how these different things line up. Or if we want to compare, you can do any number of you can just look at one thing, for example. So that is a really nice way of being able to compare different facets of the analytics. And so it's pretty straightforward. As you do more releases, you'll see over time, are we getting readership? This is over the last month. Again, you can change it to all time and get a wider view. Down to revenue, same thing. Compare all these different things. Again, it's very straightforward. You can compare follows and unfollows. This is for 1 month. You can go 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, all time. See where people are jumping on and when they're jumping off. So if you're gauging your audience and what kind of things they're liking and not liking, you can do that. How many people have added your comic titles to their favorites? Pretty straightforward. Same for interaction with your forums, your comments, and your email notifications. So I really want you to understand, what you can compare. You can start to get a sense of how your audience is interacting. Now, the other thing that is really nice is if you go back up to page reads down here, you come into acquisition sources. And this is important, I think, maybe even one of the most important things for a creator, because we all spend time on social media. We're all, in some cases, throwing out a little money here and there, whether it's to Google or Instagram or these little ads. But even if you're only spending time, you want to spend your time where it's most effective. And what this lets you do is break down where people are coming from. So if you have a campaign, for example, and you've titled it in Google or Instagram, you can keep track of how many unique readers, how many page reads, where people are coming from. So if you see something that just isn't working, you can stop spending money there and you can double down on the things that are working. So, and again, this is also, if you go all time, it's also dependent up here. It'll show all time where everything has come from. So if you're doing a campaign on that 1 week, you just hit 1 week, and for the last week, it'll show you. So again, this is a really helpful tool for your comic. It is good to play around and compare different sources and different metrics, and you shouldn't be intimidated by it. So again, check out the previous video in the comments below. If you have a comic on Global Comics, feel free to post the link in the description, and I hope this helps. See you next time.